welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and we are back with another Making It video here. So this is the second Diamond and Rainbows bracelet that I did. So yeah, this was all part of that whole challenge where I was trying to come up with these different designs based off of a pattern bracelet book. It was number 94521 on Bracelet book that kind of inspired this one. And then when I first, in case you didn't catch the whole story earlier, when I first tried to make out the pattern, I did it wrong. Instead of having like like four of the colors in the center part, I had like a single black dot. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Well, let's try doing it different. And then the question came, could I do it different, like 5 different ways, make it a whole week worth? And this was day 2 of those. And yes, I did do 5 different ones. And so far in this challenge, this has been perhaps the most difficult. It starts out easy enough. That green kind of comes underneath the blue there, and everything seems to be kind of okay. And I'm kind of starting this off, you know, kind of cautiously and stuff. But it doesn't take too long before it just seems really weird. And so one of the big things that was different about this version was that the diamonds themselves are much smaller. And I don't think that inherently caused the trouble, but it certainly changed some of the dynamics. And yeah, I don't know, this one, you know, well, okay, so one of the things is the green, after the first beginning part, it starts to zigzag to almost in a straight row coming straight down, and that separates the background color. In this case, it is like a almost white. It's not quite white. It's like a very super light gray. But it divides it to the 2 different sides, and so I have to be really conscious about keeping the tensions nice, because before, like when it was using the black background, that had the rows going long and straight, and it really held the bracelet together despite all the zigzags that all the colors were doing. These long straight rows really helped cinch the bracelet together and gave it the structure. But in this one, that structure is kind of broken up by the fact that there isn't anything doing a long straight row that helps keep it held together nice and tight and whatever. So it's really me having to control that tension and trying to make sure that everything lines up really nice. Then there's the whole thing, like, I don't know if you saw there, I was coming down with my row and then realized, wait, I need to have from the other side to come in first, otherwise it doesn't work. And so there was a lot of that kind of going on. So it took a little while. I'm not even sure if I really kind of mastered the whole what has to come first thing to this, because it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit strange as to how that kind of all works out. But overall, I am happy with the bracelet. I like the way it came out. I think it looks pretty cool. I think whoever wears it is going to definitely dig on it. But it's definitely was not easy to make, and I'm not entirely convinced that the amount of effort that it took to go into something like this, if it's worth the payout. Like here, you see, watch it, see how that white came down and bounced off the green and went the other way. It doesn't even complete the diamond. Normally the 2 grays would come together and that would be a thing, but now, oh, the gray got tangled up on itself. I had to undo that. But see, now the gray comes to the green and it bounces the green back the other way. And you can see, like, I didn't even get that one as tight as I should have, maybe. So I have to like kind of make up for that with the rest of the knots that kind of go around there. But yeah, you have to be kind of cautious if you want the diamonds to look like the diamonds. The tension is the key for this. So yeah. So in between the diamonds, there's like this colorful zigzag that comes along above and below the diamonds. That's what this part here is. But yeah, it's this one was definitely harder. I'm not sure. I know I got 3 more of these to make. I'm not sure which one is necessarily going to be the hardest. Hopefully this is it, because it'd be nice if the rest of this was just smooth sailing. I would like that. I would like that a lot. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, another time that my strings got tangled up there. Yeah, that kind of happened a couple times. At some point I make a mistake and had to undo some knots. I got ahead of myself in a row. So yeah. Didn't have too many mistakes though. And it repeats itself quite frequently. So once you sort of get the hang of it, it's sort of okay. There is a part where like right in the middle, it's a bit different for no reason. The way that the red travels just changes, and maybe because when I started it, I thought I had to go a certain direction, and then later on figured that I didn't. But yeah, right in the middle. Well, it was kind of nice because it kind of told me like, hey, I made it halfway, and I'm making progress. So that was, I didn't hate it, and it didn't hurt anything. It just was a different path than everything else I had been doing. So yeah, it wasn't like, oh no, I need to go back and remake out the pattern because people are gonna hate this. It wasn't that bad. See, look, I brought that road down again. I had to go back, change to the other side, get the red in first, because the red has to come out. It's for the orange to come to bounce it back the other way. Just a thing. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys make this bracelet, I would actually love to see it. I think it's I think this is kind of cool, and I wouldn't mind seeing if others can pull it off. But mind you, again, you kind of want to be proficient with your knots. I don't want people upset that I set them up for failure because it was too hard or something. So I'm not even sure how much time we got left. We got a lot of time. All right. Yeah, even right here, like there's just that one gray, and then the green has to bounce around just to. It's so weird. And I made the pattern, and I still think it's really weird. Oh yeah, so this side has to come down first because it bounces the green out, and then the other side has to come down to bounce the green back. Right? It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah. So yeah, overall, I mean, I don't know if I could rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, like how difficult or how awesome it is or anything. I don't know. I make a lot of bracelets, and it'd be hard to put them in any kind of a classification, but it was trying. It was definitely trying. You notice, you might notice, I'm actually kind of working closer to the clip because it is a bit harder. It's a bit more of a thing. But yeah, it's still doable. I don't know why I'm so off center. I somehow framed this up kind of weird. where I'm off to the left of the screen, but I'm going to try this anyways. Let me thank my Patreon supporters for helping to make all these videos possible. I couldn't have done it without them, so I definitely appreciate what they've done for my channel here. And yeah, it kind of covers up the bracelet a bit, but better now than at the end, I guess, right? So yeah, I'll try to do better for tomorrow's video. Yeah, this video is really taking me all day long. I had problems with the video editor to getting, where I went to speed this thing up. It just took forever to load it in and do everything. So yeah, this has been a really long day, and I'm just going to be really happy to have this done. And yeah, and I managed to watch a little bit of the Secret Invasion while making the bracelet, which was fun. I only got like one episode in, but that was neat. That was sort of a fun thing that kind of didn't expect. Maybe I'll watch the second episode tomorrow when I make a bracelet. We'll see. I think that was the halfway point because the red just went the other direction as opposed to the orange inside of that thing. I think that's the halfway. It's funny that like I can recognize that. Like I think maybe that's my superpower. Like my brain lets me recognize like the most mundane detail. But yeah, that was it. That was the spot where after that diamond it just got different. Like watch the next time it goes on the left diamond, it will be back to the other way, where the orange and the red cross over top of each other. So yeah. And the little pauses like that was right there was probably me using the scroll wheel to move the pattern down. I had opened up in a browser. I use the same PDF that's actually available over my website. You can get those at AKAAWOL.com. It's in the tutorial section. So this is Diamond and Rainbows number 2. But yeah. And I've used the same pattern and stuff, mostly just to make sure that 100% that like, it's something that you guys can use and it'll be easy and there's no mistakes or anything in it. So here we're back on that left hand side, and just a little ways to go till we get past it, but you'll see how the red and the orange do this weird thing where they cross over top of each other. Oh no, the red's coming back out to, where is it? We'll see when we get down this other part of the diamond. Oh, it did. See, there was the mistake. Yeah, this is If you think it takes, if this is like a long video, just imagine in real time what this would have been like. This is, I think again, I went with the 3 times faster. I could actually sped that up a bit, I guess. We'll see we'll see tomorrow. Maybe I go 4 times. Yeah, see, there it goes. The red went across, and then the orange just went over top of the red. And then this little diamond will kick the orange back out, and the other diamond will put the red back in the right direction. It's just a weird thing. I don't know. I don't know why I enjoy the trivial parts of this stuff, but it is neat. So, hang on, let me grab a drink. Yeah, see, here's where it kicks the red back. So yeah, I don't know if I like the light color versus the black on, as you know, the backgroundy color, or the I don't know what else you would call it. It's not really a background, is it? It's just the color that's not the changing stuff. I really kind of half expected that I would really like the lighter color more because it would make the whole thing brighter. But then it's like it doesn't have that really stark contrast. So I'm not really sure like which one's better. And I mean, I guess the preference or whatever, that's completely subjective. But I don't know. It's like I said, I expected to like it more than I do. It's okay. It's okay, but definitely different. Let's see, I think we've got about 4 minutes left here. I can't think of anything that I experienced with this that was so like, oh, I have to share that with you guys. There was nothing in it that was so incredibly wowed, you know, by it. It isn't an easy pattern. There's a lot of zigzagging in places where you wouldn't expect it to be, because it's the only way to get the colors to land where the colors needed to be to make it happen. And it definitely adds to how much effort it takes to make it happen. It's how difficult it is, because it's just non-intuitive ever. I had to look at the pattern pretty much every step of the way, even though it's so repetitive and it keeps doing the same thing. It's just, there was never a spot where I was like, oh no, I just do the thing. It doesn't. It's not that kind of a bracelet. And I can do a lot of bracelets. Like once I kind of get going, I'm all right. This was not one of those. But I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it inspires you guys to see a pattern come about that was a challenge. I mean, I literally, this was a challenge for me to create the pattern based on a design that was just kind of arbitrarily threw together, and then it worked. Like, what can I tell you? Like that part there, the fact that it actually worked was a bit of a wow. That's cool. So yeah. Yeah. And again, it's not a pattern that I would have necessarily have just come up with if it hadn't been for the whole challenging myself and trying to see, you know, other variations and stuff. I mean, this one still has the same single point in the middle of the diamonds as, like, say, yesterday's. It's a much smaller diamond, and then you just have the diamonds stacking on top of each other, and they're off center, which that was part of the whole thing that kicked this off in the first place. So yeah, yeah, kind of crazy stuff. I don't know. I would like to hear your comments on it. I do read all the comments that I get. I even actually try to reply to everything, so if you can, I would appreciate hearing what you think. And I appreciate you being around here for so long. If you haven't already, hit the like button. You know, that'll help get my video out to more people. So that would be awesome. But yeah, we're almost at the end. Thank goodness, right? Because I'm running out of things to talk about here. So yeah. And, you know, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I don't know why. I don't know that it necessarily helps my channel, but it makes me feel good. So please. And yeah. Yeah, almost to the end. Oh, and if you want to see the bracelet, it will be over on my Instagram. You can always check that out, AKAAWOL.com. All the pictures are over there, and you'll see the bracelet at the very end of it, but there it is. It's short-lived, and then it's gone. So, yep. Oh, and don't get your strings in a bunch.